Hey, hello, leaders, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. This is Paul Grau Jr., and I am the host of this show. And I'm back in the studio recording brand new episodes. And today, I want to get into something that we probably all do from time to time, and it can be very devastating to people. And that is, I call it the should zone. All right. It's where we continuously say, I should have done that, or I should have done that, or I should. And the thing is, when we should all over ourselves, we hold back on our potential. We eliminate the chance of even reaching our full potential because when we say, I should, or we should have done something, we're looking backwards and we're not looking forward. And forward is where progress is. Backwards is nothing. You're either sitting still or you're going nowhere. And, a lot of times people know whether or not they should a lot, all right, or should all over themselves, if you will. But you may be shoulding yourself if you regret a lot of things, all right? Or you say you regret a lot of things. I regret doing this and I do, you just get in that mindset where it seems like everything you do is a regret. So that's one way of telling that you might be shoulding yourself. Another one is when you compare yourself to other people. A lot of us, we live our lives and instead of just focusing on what we do best or the best that we can do, we set these expectations based on what other people are doing. And I'll tell you, I am guilty of this. I compare a lot, and a lot of my friends are very successful. And when they are successful and I'm not, and I'm having a down week, man, I compare a lot and I get down on myself. I really, you know, speak negative, those negative thoughts that we kind of thought or talked about the other day on an episode. But it's dangerous to do that. It's dangerous to compare yourself to anyone else. I don't care if it's me comparing myself to another coach or another speaker or a trainer. It doesn't matter. If we're comparing ourselves to somebody else and we're getting down on ourselves about that because we're not as good as somebody else, that's bad for us because we are going to limit how well we do. Now, we can use it possibly as a motivator, set a goal and say, hey, by this date, I want to be doing this or I want to have these goals. That's one thing. But if we continuously compare, that's a danger zone. Another way that you can tell if you're shoulding yourself is if you are avoiding a lot of difficult situations or discussions. Also, like I said earlier, if you're getting down on yourself. So I mentioned earlier, I've done this a lot, and I've struggled with this, and my wife kind of called me out on it just a week or so ago. And actually, the therapist at the VA that I've been working with, he has caught me doing it numerous times. And so I've gotten to the point where when I hear myself say it, I catch myself now. Not all the times, but most of the times I do. And then I'll be like, yep, you can't should. All right. You shouldn't be saying you should because, you know, there's a lot of times in my life that I can easily focus on looking backwards and say, man, I should have done this and I should have done this better, or I could have done this better. But, again, that's looking backwards and it's not looking forward. It's not looking towards growth. It's not looking towards progress. Instead, you're looking at your failures and dwelling on them. So the better thing to do here is just to accept it. Accept the fact that you did something and you learned something. Look back to learn on it, but don't dwell on it. Don't continuously tell other people that, yeah, I should have done that or I should have done that. And most importantly, don't tell yourself that because that's a negative thought that you're putting in your mind. And when you put that in your mind, you might say it over and over and over. And guess what? When you're saying it to yourself, you are listening to yourself. We speak to ourselves more than anybody else. And when we say things like that to ourselves, we're listening to it and we start to believe it, even if it's true to a certain degree. The thing is, we probably did the best that we could in that situation. And looking back, we can't go back and change it. So, what we can do is look back, learn from it, and say, yeah, I did this, but I learned this. Or, but even better yet, to take the but out of there, I did such and I learned such and such. That's going to help me do XYZ. So, for example, one of the biggest should that I was saying after my military career was that I should have sought counseling, all right, mental health counseling or therapy early on in my career. I mean, I experienced some things that I wouldn't wish upon anybody, and I didn't seek any help because of that dark cloud that was always hanging over me saying, man, if I go to mental health, I'm going to lose this and my career is going to be shot and all this, which, you may impact your career for a little while. But when I look back, man, I impacted a lot of people. Now, the good thing is I did that. I avoided and I did not seek help. I thought I could get over it by myself and I didn't seek any kind of professional help. Now, what I did do also is when I finally did pick up that phone or talk to my doctor about it and started seeing a therapist for it, I started learning a whole lot. Like, I don't have to deal with all that by myself. I can talk to people about it and in a healthy way, and I can get that out. And I'll tell you, when you keep things inside all bottled up, it's just going to fester inside you. And that's what those shoulds are. They're just festering inside you. So get them out. Stop saying you should. Say, I did this and I learned that you don't have to do that. I did not seek help. And I learned that I should have see, I said should, right? I said should have. But you know what? I caught myself. So to rephrase that, I did not seek help when I did. And I learned that when you have issues like this, you need to seek help as soon as possible because there's no shame in going to see a doctor to talk about some horrific things that you've experienced. There's no shame in that. And probably now more than ever in our society, mental health therapy is accepted farther and wider than it's ever been before. So I'll tell you, I say it to everybody, and I don't know if I've said it on this show or not, but I think everybody should have a therapist on speed dial. Because if for nothing else, if you catch yourself shoulding all the time and looking back, you can call them up and say, man, what can I do? Because the bottom line is you cannot go back and change. So if you're saying, man, I should have done that earlier. Well, guess what? I didn't. I didn't do it earlier. And I learned that I can control from this day forward. I can't go back and erase something that happened or the choices that I made a long time ago. But what I can do is use that experience for today and to make tomorrow better. And so I just want you to think about it. What areas of your life do you ever say that I should have done this, or I wish I would have done this, or man, I can't believe I did this. I should have done blank. You fill in the blank, however it resonates with you. But restate that in your mind. Say, heck, I did this, or I did not do this, And I learned that I need to do this from this day forward. It's never too late to start doing the right thing. Hey, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it resonated with some listeners out there. And heck, if it did, please consider sharing this with friends and family members and whoever else, other leaders that you think may need to hear this. If you have somebody that you hear saying should have a lot, man, share this with them. Say, you know what? I hear you saying this a lot, and I think you should listen to this because maybe it'll help you. Because when you can eliminate saying, I should, you have a better chance of reaching your full potential. Until tomorrow, run to your challenges. We'll see you.